All right. I want to respect everybody's time. We still have a number of people that'll probably be joining on here in a minute or two, but want to go ahead and get started and again, respect everybody's busy schedules. So thank you all so much for attending today's Digital Marketing Lunch and Learn. And the Lunch and Learn series is sponsored, co-sponsored by the ESVA Chamber Foundation, as well as the SBDC of Hampton Roads, and partially funded by as you see, the Eastern Shore license plates up and down the shore. And I know many of you all do have the Eastern Shore license plates. It's a great way to show your shore pride, promote tourism, but then also help put on these lunch and learns and business educational seminars throughout the year. So I want to first turn it over to George Bryan, who represents the SBDC here on the Eastern Shore, Virginia. He has an office here in the chamber and a great partner. So George, I'm gonna turn it over to you first.
I don't have anything to say other than welcome to the people that are attending this, and I know Sarah has a lot of valuable information. So I'm not going to say any more, and I think it should be handed over to Sarah where she can impart something that's valuable. But thanks for attending, folks.
Absolutely, that's a good lead in. Sarah, we are excited to hear your expertise today, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, well, I'm excited to share. The first thing I'm going to do is literally share my screen. So let me, sorry, technical difficulties. There we go. Can everybody see?
Yep, looks
Great.
good.
So as my screen says, I am Sarah Barbin, and I am the Marketing and Membership Director for the Eastern Shore of Virginia Chamber of Commerce. And I started in my role with the Chamber in mid-December, and this is my first ever Lunch and Learn. Today, we are going to dig into digital marketing. We'll cover what digital marketing is and how to get started with some key platforms and strategies. At the end, I'll try and leave some time to answer your questions. If a question occurs to you as we go along, put it into the chat box and I'll answer it at the end. The presentation is also being recorded and will be uploaded to the Chamber website so you can review it later or share it with someone who couldn't attend. I'll also provide my contact information at the end so that you can reach out if you have questions. There we go. We're going to start with a definition of what digital marketing is, and this comes from HubSpot. So digital marketing encompasses all marketing efforts that use an electronic device or the internet. Businesses leverage digital channels such as search engines, social media, email, and other websites to connect with current and prospective customers. And so, like I said, this handy definition is from HubSpot and it sums up digital marketing. If that seems really big and overwhelming, don't stress. I'll be breaking it down into more manageable chunks. We'll also be talking more about HubSpot later. They're a great resource for marketing knowledge. Their daily marketing and sales newsletters are as good as a formal education in marketing, in my opinion. Okay. So our lives are becoming more and more digital. The worldwide average for time spent on the internet on any device is 6 hours and 40 minutes a day. And COVID has only made the world more digital. Hence why Zoom meetings like this feel so normal now. So it's pretty much a sure bet that your audience is online in some capacity. So your business needs to be online too. But you can't just put together a website and create a Facebook page and call it done. It's important to reach your audience in the right way using the right strategies. That's why we'll go over various types of digital marketing and best practices. With digital marketing, you're driving the bus, or at least you're working with someone very closely who is driving the bus based on your instructions, like an employee or a freelancer. You aren't dependent on when the next paper will come out with your ad in it, and you aren't limited to 30 seconds of airtime to try and sum up your life's work. Traditional media still very much has its place, but digital marketing is the best for telling your story in your voice on your time. It's the best way to connect in an authentic way with your audience. Many traditional advertising routes come with a hefty price tag. Digital marketing can be accomplished with a relatively small investment, or in some cases, just your time. With digital marketing, you can track how many people see a Facebook post, how many people open an email, or how many visits there were to your website. With many traditional marketing avenues, there's no trackability. With digital marketing, you can see how your audience is reacting to your content and change your strategy on the fly if need be. If you've ever taken a marketing class or done any research about marketing, you've probably seen something similar to the graphic on the left. This is called the marketing funnel, and it's how marketers think about how customers interact with content and how consumers become customers. The problem is that once they leave the funnel, this way of thinking about your customers and your marketing efforts doesn't build loyalty into the strategy. It has you always hustling for new customers. As a general rule, it costs 5 times more to get a new customer than it does to keep an old one. The model on the right aims to fix that with the help of digital marketing by turning first-time customers into brand advocates. This is called the loyalty loop. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the loyalty loop and the role that digital marketing and other marketing efforts play in it. In this example, digital marketing plays a key role in consideration, advocacy, and loyalty. Engaging with customers on social media, keeping them informed with blogs, responding to their reviews, and making them feel like a part of the club with a newsletter is the way to turn one-off customers into regulars and save yourself from constantly trying to find new people to feed the funnel. If you can get people to like your social media channels and subscribe to your emails, you'll show up in their news feeds and their inboxes regularly. And that's the most direct way to become a part of their day-to-day life. Let's see. So many technical difficulties. Okay. So I could spend the whole day talking about digital marketing, hence why there are entire conferences dedicated to digital marketing. But for the sake of everyone's time, I'll be touching on just a few digital marketing platforms and concepts today. And here's a snapshot of what we'll be covering. All right, so now we're going to dig into social media. If someone takes the time to like your Facebook, follow you on Instagram, or watch your YouTube videos, they're either already a customer or they're interested in your business on some level. Social media is one of the best ways to interact on a regular basis with people who already love what you do, ensuring they don't forget you're out there. The Chamber recently conducted a series of workshops along with the ANPDC, the other chambers on the shore, the Tourism Commission, and the Community College to learn how businesses innovated during the pandemic and what challenges they faced. One challenge we heard cited consistently was getting information out to customers and keeping your business top of mind. Social media is the most direct way to accomplish both of these. Increasingly, consumers want news and information to come to them. If they don't see it in their Facebook feed, it doesn't exist. So you have to make sure you're in their feed as much as possible. You can also use social media to try and reach new customers and build awareness of your business. Social media advertising is a great way to do that, and we'll cover that in just a bit. Another way to try and boost your social media following is with a giveaway. You can give away something as small as a t-shirt or a $10 gift card and require people to like your page and share the contest in order to enter. This is a great way to reach new audiences. When people see print advertising or a billboard for your business, it doesn't necessarily have a super personal touch, even if you craft a really great message. But you sharing about your business in your own words on social media is about as personal as it gets. Figure out what your brand voice is, the unique language and tone your business speaks in, and use it to share your unique story. Don't try and look or sound like anyone else. Be authentic. If you don't have a brand voice set in stone, sit down, think it through, put it on paper, and make sure everyone on your team knows how to speak when they're speaking for or as your brand. Once again, I could spend an entire day on this topic of brand voice, but I won't. I will, however, encourage you to seek out the work of Anne Handley. Her fortnightly newsletter and her books are a wealth of knowledge on authenticity and writing for marketing. Eventually, I'll be able to get my computer to go to the next slide. So there are a lot of social media platforms out there, but don't try and dive into them all. If you're a social media newbie, pick 1 or 2 platforms to start with. If you're an experienced social media manager, don't feel like you have to hop on every new platform that comes along. Find what works best to connect with your audience and stick with it. In my opinion, the 2 core social media networks are Facebook and Instagram. Any business, no matter how big or small, can make an impact with these 2 platforms. Don't feel like you can only post on social media if you have the perfect message with the perfect picture. Engaging with your fans and new customers on social media is about building loyalty and making your brand real to them, not being perfect. Like with so many things, consistency is key. Post to your social media regularly, ideally a few times a week. I know you're all super busy and it can be hard to work posting on social media into your day-to-day. And that's where scheduling tools like Hootsuite come in handy. Social media scheduling tools allow you to input social media content in advance and schedule exactly when you want them to post. These tools can be great for making sure you post consistently. But don't just set it and forget it. You still need to answer every message, reply to all comments, and respond to every review. Remember, this all goes back to building loyalty and engagement. All right, Hootsuite is my social media scheduler of choice. And as you can see here, and you can have up to 3 social media channels for free. And as you see in the screenshot, it can serve as a one-stop dashboard where you can create content, monitor messages, and respond to comments. It's also super user-friendly. One very important social media function you can't control through Hootsuite is advertising. Again, the 2 platforms I would suggest starting out with are Instagram and Facebook. If you've never done any digital advertising or you're nervous about dipping your toe in the water, I suggest starting with Instagram because it's very simple and you can get a lot of bang for your buck, which will help you build confidence. The first step to advertising on Instagram is to make sure your account is set up as a business account. And the example on the slide is showing you how to check to make sure that your Instagram is a business account. And I used my personal Instagram as an example because it's not set up as a business account. So you just go to the 3 lines up here on your profile page. You go under your settings, you go under account, and if it says switch to professional account, then it is not set up as a professional account and you need to switch it to be one. Sorry. Okay. All right, so once you're ready to start the advertising process on Instagram, here is what you need to do. So once you've checked that your profile is set up as a business account, you can either promote a post that you've already created, which would be the example here on the left, or you can promote a post that you're working on. So you would just hit the toggle to create a promotion from the post you're working on, or hit promote, the promote button for the one that is already there. Either way, whichever way you choose, you'll end up in Instagram's super user-friendly promotion system. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll select a goal based on what you're trying to achieve for the promotion. Then you'll choose an audience, and you can either let Instagram choose for you or build one based on insights you've gathered from your Instagram profile and post, or based on what you know about your customers. You can find your insights by clicking those 3 bars at the top right of your profile page, like I showed you before, and clicking insights. And so here's a look at the information that you need to build an audience on Instagram. And once you build an audience, it's stored in your Instagram profile so you can use it for future ads. And then after you've selected an audience, you'll set a duration and a budget. A little money can still go a long way on Instagram, despite what the system defaults to. My general rule is I think that $15 over a 7-day duration is a good place to start if you're a newbie. It's a small budget and it lets you get a feel for the system and the results. And notice that on each step in this process at the bottom, there are links offering you insight. And those are a great resource for when you're first learning. Once you've input all that, you'll see this screen, and all you need to do is click Create Promotion, and you are good to go. Once you've set up your ad, don't just set it and forget it. Check in on it. Instagram will send you reminders and updates about your ad, but you can also keep an eye on it yourself by going to your profile page, clicking the View Professional Dashboard, and then clicking Promotions and clicking on the promotion you'd like to look at. The Facebook advertising platform is a bit more sophisticated than Instagram's, but it's still totally manageable. When you're on your Facebook business page, click Business Suite and then click Ads. Then click Create Ad, then choose a goal. If you're an old hand at Facebook advertising, you probably remember when Boost Post was your only option, and it's still an option. If you choose that, you'll go into a feed of your posts, like over there on the right, and you'll select which you'd like to boost. Regardless of which goal you pick, you'll be taken into a form that looks something like the top left. If you choose one of the other goals, you'll enter in your own text and you can add a photo of your choosing. Then you'll move on to your audience. Depending on what your goal of choice is for your ad, your audience will change. If you choose to promote your business locally, you'd want to go with people in your local area for your audience. If you want to reach existing customers and bring in some new ones, you could go with people who like your page and their friends. If your business is nationwide or regional, or if you're trying to reach a very specific person, type of person, you're going to want to go with people you choose through targeting. Facebook's ad platform can get much more granular than Instagram. This is where it's really important to think about your audience. What are your best customers like? What does your ideal new customer look like? Who are you trying to reach with this ad? You need to know these things to be successful with creating your own audience, because Facebook will let you target people by age and location like Instagram, but you can also use detailed targeting to zero in on interests, income, political affiliation, what type of phone they use, how much they use their phone. HubSpot has some great tools to teach you how to create buyer personas, which is the information that would be required to answer those questions about your audience. Once you've chosen your audience, you'll want to set a budget. Your money used to go a long way on Facebook like it does on Instagram. That isn't the case so much anymore. Although it's still cheaper than print advertising, if your goal was something more general, like promoting your business locally or promoting your page to get more likes, you can spend less because the action doesn't have a high threshold for the user. That means the harder it is to get someone to do something, the more money you have to spend to accomplish it. It's much easier to get someone to like your Facebook than it is to get them to buy a ticket to an event or visit your website and purchase something. If your goal is to run a campaign that gets more leads, aka email addresses and phone numbers, your budget should fall in the middle, because it's harder than getting someone to click like, but not as hard as getting someone to spend money. We'll talk more about leads when we talk about email marketing. When I'm doing social media promotion for lower threshold actions, my rule is $25 for 7 days or $3.50 a day. Higher threshold action campaigns are $50 for 7 days. Medium threshold actions fall in the middle. If you're running a campaign for a longer period, simply adjust the formula. Social media is great, and it's key to marketing in this day and age, but it does have a flaw. Even if you have thousands of Instagram followers or 500,000 Facebook likes, you don't own the audience. If Facebook shut its doors tomorrow, you have no way to talk to all those fans you collected. The beauty of building an email database is that you own it. As long as those users willingly and knowingly gave you their email addresses, there's yours to keep. For just a second, I want you to think about the email list you've willingly signed up for and not unsubscribed from immediately after they send you the coupon you need to get free shipping on your order. It's probably not a lot of brands or companies, and it's probably ones you're very loyal to. Your email marketing could be that for someone else as long as you do it right. Email is highly trackable. You can not only see how your emails do overall by tracking your open rate, your click rate, and your unsubscribe rate. You can see how long a user has been subscribed to your list, what percentage of your emails they've opened, and what links they've clicked. At least you can if you're using a good email platform. My preferred basic email marketing software is Constant Contact. You can do a lot with it, including all the things I just listed. However, if you want an integrated platform that can schedule social media posts, serve as a blog platform, build landing pages, and produce beautiful emails, you're going to need HubSpot. But HubSpot is very pricey and very involved. It is definitely a pro level tool. Okay, so email comes with a lot of insider baseball terminology. So let's review some important definitions. Open rate is the percentage of people who open an email after receiving it. Click rate is the percentage of users who, after opening an email, clicked a link in that email. The unsubscribe rate is the percentage of users who unsubscribed after receiving an email. Automation is a series of emails that you create, which are fed to users automatically after they sign up for your list or as they take certain actions on your site or with your emails. And segmentation is dividing your email list into smaller groups that you can send only to those users. And it's important to note that click rate, unsubscribe, and open rate apply to individual emails, but also your email platform overall. All right. Regardless of what email platform you're using, you're going to need a list before you can send any emails. There are lots of ways to build a list, and you can use any or all of them. The easiest way is if you have a walk-in business is to put an email sign-up sheet on the counter and plug in the information into your email management platform. Regardless of how you collect emails, you're going to want to at least get the person's name and their email. You can try getting things like phone numbers and addresses, but that goes back to the higher threshold concept we talked about earlier. Fewer people want to give out those details, so if you try and collect them, you might lose out overall. You should definitely have an email sign up on your website, and it should be in multiple places. For the chamber, ours is in the footer, and so that means it's on every page, and it's on our contact page. With email platforms like Constant Contact, you can create email sign-up forms that you can place on your website. If you work with a web designer, you can have them place a form for you. When we were discussing Facebook advertising earlier, on the goal options, one was getting more leads, and you can use a lead ad on Facebook to collect email addresses. Use the process we talked about earlier and put a larger budget on the ad because you're trying to accomplish a higher threshold action. You can use contest platforms like Gleam to run giveaways and have people give you their email address to enter. Gleam is very user-friendly and it makes it easy to share your contests to social media. To ensure you're getting new contacts and not just your followers, you should pair campaigns with social media ads or boost the posts you share about the contest. As the contest runs, the platform will collect the email addresses and you can transfer them to your email database platform. Remember, getting someone's email is a higher threshold action, so the prize has to be worth it. If you're giving away a sticker, you probably won't get many email addresses. Whether your event is in person or virtual, give people the option to join your mailing list. If you create event registrations through email platforms like Constant Contact, there's often the option to allow people to sign up for your list right in the event page. If you're using paper forms to pre-register people, include a box people can check so that it authorizes you to add them to your list. If your event is in person, have an email sign-up sheet at the registration table. Do not just add people to your list because they gave you their email in order to join a Zoom event. That is bad email etiquette. Do not add someone to your list unless they specifically opt in. One of the most important things about email to keep in mind about email is to stop and think about emails you've opened and that have motivated you to click a link or actually buy something. I'm not saying rip off other companies' emails, but think about what has motivated you as a consumer and apply the same logic to your own emails. I also recommend holding on to emails you found compelling or have interacted with and using them as inspiration for when you're feeling stuck. Don't get trigger happy with your emails. Before you schedule them or send, always send yourself a test email. I send 2 email newsletters a week here at the chamber, and I still almost always forget something, but usually I catch it when I send myself a test email. Like with social media, consistency is key with email. Even if you only send 1 email a month, make sure you send consistently. Choose a day and a time once a month, once a week, or twice a week, and send at a consistent time. When you know exactly when you'll send emails, it also makes it easier to plan out what you want the emails to say. Sit down and write out a schedule each month for your emails, or if you're only doing once a month, map it out a quarter at a time. Always keep an eye on your email reporting. There's a saying that goes, if you can't measure it, you can't learn from it. Email is highly measurable, so make sure you're looking at the data. Look at emails that did well and see if you can pinpoint why. If certain types of emails have low open rates, consider avoiding those in the future. Review your data for each email. I usually review stats 7 days after I send an email because that's enough time so that everyone who is going to open it likely has. Here are some email don'ts. Email is great, but if you aren't using best practices, it can turn sour very quickly. For every email you open or click a link in, there are probably 50 that go straight to your trash, or worse, that you hit unsubscribe on. To avoid having your emails meet that fate, follow these tips. Do not send an email every day of the week. People will get annoyed and unsubscribe. If you're sending emails twice a week and you have a low open rate or a high unsubscribe rate, back off and send less often. Don't be shady. This goes back to not putting email addresses on your list if people haven't expressly opted in to hear from you. Opting in to receive info about an event is not the same thing as signing up for your newsletter list. Don't give your email database to another business. People sign up to hear from you, not them. Don't send emails for your friend's business to your list. People trusted you with their email address. Don't break that trust. And lastly, never buy email lists. Firstly, you don't know if those emails were obtained through opt-ins, so sending to addresses on lists could actually be breaking privacy laws. Secondly, email lists are expensive and they don't provide good results. Those people didn't sign up expressly to hear from you, so you'll probably just be annoying them. All right, so now we're going to dive into SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it is the process of helping your website show up higher in search results. So why is showing up higher in search results important? The higher up you are, the more likely consumers are to choose you when they're searching for products, experiences, or services. Because of the attention paid to certain platforms in recent years, I'm assuming we all know what an algorithm is, at least vaguely. The algorithms that determine how your website ranks in search results are constantly changing, and companies who are serious about ranking in search have digital marketing managers whose whole job it is to manage such things. Most businesses don't have the budget for a digital marketing manager, so focus on a few actions to boost your SEO. How you tackle your SEO on your website depends on how your site is set up. If you worked with a web designer or a firm to create your website, talk to them about what they're doing to address SEO on your site. Do your research and make sure you're happy with their answer. If you set up your site using a builder like Squarespace or Wix, utilize the SEO tools they provide. Make sure each page on your website is titled with words that really sum up what it is, and make sure your page URLs are the same. Before you write the text for each page on your site or before you revise it, do keyword research to learn which keywords you should be focusing on using in your writing. Moz is an amazing resource for keyword research. They have a free keyword explorer and a killer blog that will give you an education in SEO. Reputation management may sound like hiring a fancy PR firm to make sure your brand looks good, but what it actually involves is keeping an eye on your online reviews to understand what customers are saying, making tweaks where you need to, and making customers feel heard. It is part of SEO because reviews are one of the top things that will come up when someone Googles you, and because mentions of your business and its services in reviews will influence how you rank in search. You should be monitoring reviews for your business on Google and Facebook at minimum. Additionally, work on sites like TripAdvisor and Yelp if they apply. With Facebook and Google, you'll get notifications when you receive a new review. Read each review and make sure you always respond, even if it's simply to say thank you for the great review. If customers leave negative reviews, do not argue with them. Be sympathetic and offer to discuss the issue with them by email or phone so the disagreement isn't splashed all over the internet. Responding to reviews isn't just about making customers feel appreciated and heard. The Google algorithm that determines how pages rank in search rewards you for responding to reviews in a timely manner. One way to try and ensure that your website comes up high in search results for topics related to your industry is to create content around those topics. The most basic way to do this is by creating a blog on your site and writing blogs on industry-related topics. For example, my husband makes cutting boards, so he and I plan to write a blog about how to care for cutting boards to post on his site so that when someone searches that question, our blog will come up, assuming it's quality content and it contains the right keywords. Hopefully someone will find it, use the knowledge, and remember the site the next time they need a cutting board. For those who feel that they're ready for more advanced forms of content marketing, you can create ebooks for more in-depth concepts or try your hand at downloadable content, which could be everything from a campground producing a scavenger hunt sheet for download to a yoga instructor producing videos for download. The beauty of this type of content is it kills two birds with one stone because it helps your site rank higher in search, and typically users have to submit their email address and opt in to receive content. Typically, this is done by using a landing page on your website and an email automation. HubSpot has some great resources for setting up downloadable content. These examples are just the tip of the content marketing iceberg. That could honestly be an entire lunch and learn as well, so don't think this brief explanation covers the whole topic, which is actually true of everything I'm covering today. Like the social platforms we've discussed, Google also offers advertising. They provide a variety of options, but one of the most basic is search ads. These essentially help you show up at the top of the Google results when someone searches for your product or service in a certain geographic area. I won't dig into all the types of Google advertising and how to tackle them today because it's a whole rabbit hole. But I will say that the Chamber offers a digital marketing program where for a small fee, we will set up and run a Google ad for members. One of the most important things that you can do to help your business search rankings and help customers find you is fill out your Google My Business listing. Every single business should have one of these, especially because it will help you with other SEO boosting tricks like reputation management. So let's walk through how to create one. First off, you need to have a Gmail account for your business in order to use Google My Business. So if you don't have one, you'll need to create one. When you sign into your Google account, head to the Google homepage and click the little square of dots at the top right. Select My Business from the menu, and then Google will carry you through the sign-up process. First, you'll put in your business name, and then you'll select a category based on your industry. And because the Chamber already has a Google My Business account, I decided to make up my own fake flower business. So let's see how I signed it up. If my ancient Mac will let me. So when you were you'll indicate whether or not you have a location that your customers can visit. And if you do, you'll put the address in, and then you'll indicate your service areas, any service areas outside of your business. And if you offer service areas outside of your business, you'll indicate which ones. And then you'll put in your contact information. And then you'll click, Once you get to the screen, you'll click finish. And once you do that, your My Business listing will be saved, but it won't be live until you verify your business. Once you hit finish, you'll get information about how to verify your business. Typically, Google mails you a postcard to the address you listed with a code that you'll enter in your Google My Business account. After you do that, you'll be able to add photos, post your hours of operation, and respond to reviews. If you don't check the mail yourself, make sure whoever does knows not to throw the Google postcard away. Some businesses are able to be verified using their phone number. In that case, Google will call the number that you listed when signing up. Make sure that whoever answers the call writes down the code so that you can put it in your Google My Business account. All right, so that's all the basics I have for today on digital marketing. So I wanted to leave some time to open it up for questions from you all. So if anybody has a question, just let me know.
Sarah, there was a question in the chat box from Jenny, and she was curious of what the name of the company that you'd recommended for the keyword search.
The name of the company I'd recommended is Moz, and they have a free keyword search tool where you can literally pull it up and type in kayaking, and you can see like what it would actually take to rank for that keyword. So that is super helpful and free.
Is that, how do you spell that? Is it?
Oh, it's M-O-Z.
M-O-Z, there you go.
And then if you have the type of budget where you want to get into paid keyword tools, then SEMrush is the one that I would recommend.
All right, any other questions from everyone? And if you're on, I had muted everybody during the presentation, but you can unmute yourself on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, or if you're on a phone, if you hit *6, that should unmute you as well. Or you can add the question in the chat box. Any questions from anyone?
I have a question, Robbie. I was this is Bill Locato at the community college. I was interested to see what Sarah's thoughts were. I've heard varying opinions on the Facebook ads versus boosting your post. I've heard a lot of folks say that boosting your ad is really a little bit of a waste of time as compared to the effectiveness of actually doing a Facebook ad. Sarah, do you have any thoughts on that? Is boosting kind of spinning your wheels, or do you see that being advantageous?
I definitely think that Facebook ads would be more effective just because when you go through the steps of creating an ad, you can set up the copy that you want and the photo that you want for that specific ad. So it's just you have more control when you're setting up an individual Facebook ad. So I definitely think that they're more effective than just boosting a post.
Okay, very good. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for offering this. Very helpful information.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks,
All
Bill.
right, we have one question in the chat. Yes, we will be sending, I can send a recording of the email to everybody's individual email addresses that you signed up with. And I will do that. And then it will also be linked on the Chamber's webpage from our events page, like where we keep all the lunch and learns. So we'll have lots of ways for you all to be able to see the recording. All right, we have a question about Instagram. With Instagram, can you set up a business account on its own, or does it need to be attached to a personal account like Facebook? So you can set up an Instagram just for your business. You don't have to have a personal Instagram in order to make a business Instagram. And when you set up an Instagram, if it's your first Instagram and it's specifically for your business, you'll just indicate that it is a professional account. And where Facebook owns Instagram, they really like it if you connect your Facebook and your Instagram. So when you set up an Instagram, if you have a business Facebook page, it'll walk you through the process of connecting the two. And that way, if you do push an ad on Facebook and you want to try running it on Instagram, you can just click one box and it'll automatically run it on both platforms. So that's one helpful thing in connecting the two. All right, so we have another question. Tips for working with Facebook. They're very difficult to get information about why they're limiting your advertising. Tips for remedying restrictions. I would say that the best way to get information about how the Facebook ad platform works and why they might be restricting your ads is just to turn to Facebook's own resources. So in the Facebook Business Center, there are tons of resources on teaching you how to do advertising better, what restrictions there are, how to build audiences, all of that. Facebook wants you to use their platform and wants you to spend money with them. So they provide a lot of resources on that type of thing. I haven't had any specific experiences with having ads get denied unless it was for ads that, like if I was trying to use a print poster as the picture for a Facebook ad, sometimes those will get denied because they don't like your picture having so much text in it. But that's the only time I've actually run into that. So I'm not sure. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'm also going to share my screen again real quick because I have a list of resources that I wanted to share. If I can manage that. Let me see. I swear you all, my old Mac is just gonna fail me. Okay, so when I send out the presentation as an email and when it's on the chamber website, I'll make sure that that list of resources is there. But it was a lot of the ones that I mentioned. So HubSpot has a blog and a series of courses that are great for general marketing knowledge. Moz is the SEO resource. Social Media Explorer is a great social media resource. And then the Small Business Development Center of Virginia is doing a digital marketing boot camp that starts on April 6th. So, and it's a series of webinars. So I think that would be really great for everybody to do some more in-depth learning about digital marketing. So I'll make sure that those resources get included.
Awesome. Great. And before we wrap up, any other questions from anyone? All great questions before.
Yeah, they were great questions.
All right. If not, thank you all so much for attending today. And like Sarah said, we will send out the link to the recording for today very soon, as well as that helpful resource. And then obviously feel free to reach out to us if you have any follow-up questions after today's event that you might not have wanted to ask in the group, but I want to ask one-on-one. We're happy to help out. So thank you all so much for attending, and y'all have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you all.